Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. I am your co-host, Suleiman Steele. Whew, if you guys knew how long it took to get this started, you'd be very shocked. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. I am your host. It's been a while since we've done the podcast. We've been, getting some innovations done and things of that nature. And today I will be joined by Michaela Mitchell. Michaela is the head of sales at Uncovering Greatness. She's a valuable asset to our team because our business focuses on sales. And if we don't have somebody in charge of sales, it will be pretty tricky to do what we do. So Michaela, how goes it? How you doing? What's happening?
Yeah, good. Just made my day. Nice to know that I'm valued.
Yeah.
I think we're riding off the high of yesterday. We spoke at Sully and I have never spoken alone at our Circle of Influence breakfast. We run a weekly breakfast for entrepreneurs, business owners on Thursday morning, and generally it's Barry and Nicole speaking about all sorts of topics, business mindset, sales, money, and they interview guests, and we've done it before. They've interviewed us, they've channeled to us, but they're currently overseas and they gave us freedom to teach by ourselves for the first time ever. And how was it?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting, right? Because we were doing a topic that I feel like our community and our audience I feel like they're aware of it, but they're not too sure about it in a sense.
Yeah.
Because there was definitely a point in time when we were teaching and I was looking into the audience. Yeah, people are just staring back at you.
Like a true blank.
I was like, is what we say making sense? Is this working? Are we wasting everybody's time?
Yeah.
There was like so many different things that were going through my head.
I think we had like such a wide variety of people in it.
Yeah.
We had some people that are like social media experts, know so much about social media and influencers and things like that. And then on the other side, we had people that know absolutely nothing. They're literally like, we know nothing about social media, don't even know how to log out to Facebook properly. Please help. And it was having that like huge range between the two. And I found we also had quite an old room, like in terms of generational age. Like most of them were, 45 and up? Yeah.
And most of them have like 3 different profiles on Facebook because they forgot their password, the ones that they created. And it was interesting, right? Because we were teaching like social media and communication from a business perspective, which honestly, I've come to realize being in social media for as long as I've been in it, there isn't a lot of conversation around that, right? There isn't a lot of teaching around it. It's more just open up your Facebook pages, open up your social media accounts, post, and your business will thrive. And I'm like, okay. And I feel like you can see that, right? From following the way that our community posts stuff, there isn't any clarity in terms of what am I actually communicating.
100%. And I think people think that if I post so much, the more I post, the more people will see. And it doesn't actually matter what they're posting. Like someone yesterday mentioned that, bad publicity is at least publicity and at least people are seeing you. And I'm like, I get it. But if you piss people off on social media, they're not going to then buy from you. I don't care if you think it's publicity, it still doesn't mean they're going to reach out to you. Now you've pissed off 300,000 people or whatever it is, 300 people in your community. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to know what you're posting, who you're posting to.
And that is, that whole all publicity is good publicity thing. It's something that we've heard for a long time, but I feel like it's something that's really been driven home by like the likes of Donald Trump. And I think that people misunderstand it. It's such a misconception, especially when it comes to social media and your communication. If you're not somebody who is a controversial person in your normal life, why would you want to post controversial stuff on social media just to get views? And it's so detrimental to your business in the long run. That one thing can literally shift everything when you pursue out. And it was actually an example I wanted to give when I we got lost of it yesterday. But if you look at that guy from the DA who had posted things from back. We posted things when it was younger, and then was running to be in Parliament, and
Suddenly
these things come out. That wasn't good publicity for him, and it wasn't even good publicity for the DA. It was the worst publicity you could possibly get, and suddenly, as a result, not just he is in question, the whole political party.
And the integrity of everyone and their values. People have been seeing like they've been selling this idea that this is how they are, and now suddenly this comes out and everyone's kind of like, is that what it's really like? Like, well, is this who we following or what's happening?
100%. And it's for me, it's exactly the same with business, right? There's been so many businesses who have posted crazy wild things on social media and have taken a major knock, either getting shut down or getting, just in terms of their profits, just incredibly dropping. And as much as social media is an incredibly valuable tool to grow your business, the wrong thing, unfortunately, can also shut you down nasty. But if we go back to yesterday, I think it was the first time we've taught together alone. But more so, it was the first time we taught together on a topic that we both essentially thrive in.
Yeah.
Right? And it was so different the way, because I've taught around social media marketing with Nicole and with Barry, and I've done it before. But this time it was done in a way where, the way that Nicole had pitched it was the youthful side of our business is going to be teaching.
And I think we both very much agree and we see eye to eye on the topic, and we get involved when talking about it, which is not something you have to have, but it definitely makes things easier. So we were able to get up there, have fun, and just be ourselves and talk, about our opinions and our thoughts.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that, that it came, I feel like it came across because, speaking to people afterwards and sort of getting their understand, and having people go, oh man, we should do this for the whole month. And I kind of went, I don't think, because it's not to say that it conflicts with what Barry teaches.
Yeah.
But I feel like, especially for small business owners and entrepreneurs, it gives them an out.
Yes.
Right? So it gives them the opportunity to not make phone calls, not go knock on doors.
Well, now they're spending an extra 2 hours a day trying to figure out how to check their analytics on Facebook, and where is the button, and things like that.
And that's so true, and if I look at it and I go, for example, like with you, if I don't bring in leads, right? Me not bringing in leads becomes a me problem. It doesn't become a you problem.
It does and it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I've sort of relied on you to bring in leads so that I can make phone calls. It makes my life easier.
Yeah.
But if you weren't to bring in leads, I'd have to go out to market and do more cold calling, reach out to more people. There is a way to do it.
Yeah.
You just make it more convenient and you make life easier.
I think that's where a lot of small business owners get it wrong.
Yeah.
Get it wrong and get a little bit stuck because let's just say they bring in a marketing agency and they say, we want you to get us leads. And they say, cool, agree whatever the amounts of leads they're going to bring in. And then the leads do come in, but you're not picking up the phone to make calls.
And then what happens then? The leads just sit there, you send them an email and hope that they'll come back to you one day.
Yeah, you look at it, right? Like before you started with us, we had other members of the team, and my role has always been to bring in leads, and bring in the leads, and here are the leads, and then we're not seeing any people at the events. We're not seeing, and I'm not even getting any feedback on are these leads good or bad.
Yeah.
What are these leads, right?
Well, if you're not making phone calls, you can't find out if you're bringing in the right leads, the right people, and tying it back to what we were talking about just now is, I think we teach so much around business. Barry, and as always, keep it simple. Barry teaches a lot of the same stuff relating to different things. And it's very much the same. People come into our world over and over again, and they're still not applying the things they're learning already. So why, when we come in and start teaching more about other things, when they're already not applying the things they get on the regular?
100%. Last month at Circle of Influence, we did Back to Basics. And I feel like, so Barry taught twice, Nicole taught twice, and what we saw was the consistent agreement from people that they're not doing the things that they learn when they come to Circle. that they learn when they go after sales explosion or UGE or whatever. Like, I mean, we've seen, I feel like just this year alone at Circle, we've probably seen the sales funnel 20 times.
And it's not even just like, for me, when you talk about that, it's not even just people in our world internally, like at Circle. The average business owner knows that they should be out there making phone calls or, you know, cold calling, seeing people, meeting people, making meetings. They know they should be doing that, but they're not.
Yeah.
So now you come into an environment like this where it's like, this is how to do it, this is what to do. They already know that they should be doing that. So it creates a lot more emotional pushback because they're already not. And now it's like, oh, we're going to teach you about social media. And they're like, suddenly this is a way to get out of high emotion making videos. But Sully said that thing about the Facebook analytics, and I really need to learn that. No, you don't.
No, honestly, no, I don't. And I think that's something that I really try to get away from is, so one of my first questions with anybody, any client that comes in or anything like that is, what is your sales team like? Because I feel like, especially with having Michaela in the team, I become incredibly privileged to have somebody that I know is great to pick up the phone and call. So I can tweak if leads are not as good as they should be or they're absolutely horrible, I can actually change that for more. So I can sit down with them and go, cool, what was the conversations that you had with these people when you call? Majority of them don't have cars, so they can't answer the email.
Then I'm able to come and say, like, this is what I got. Look, here's my call sheet. This is, you know, I spoke to these people. These people suck. They're not interested at all. This one said that they signed the form on Facebook because they thought they were issuing a quiz. Like, you know, things like that. But until you actually get out there and make the calls, you're never going to know that the leads you're bringing in are correct. You're never going to know, sort of, like, one of the questions was like, your perfect customer.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know your perfect customer until you look at the people that are actually buying from you already. Then you can, from there, you create the perfect lead.
And that question was actually quite interesting to me in terms of the perfect customer, because everybody wants it. Because in this day and age, you can go online, what's the perfect target audience, right? And you'll find thousands and thousands of people telling you what perfect customer actually is. But I feel like, especially in our world, the perfect customer is the customer with money. That's the perfect customer. But more than anything, it's the customers you already have.
Yes.
That's the perfect customer.
People that are buying from you already are your customers.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, it could be like, create a stereotype or an avatar. Those are the people, those are what they look like. Get an average of, so my average age is 50.
Right.
You know, my average is black woman or whatever it is. That is your average avatar. And those are the people that you're going after. Those are the people that you're looking for. I think that's a big thing, is people want to be like, I want 25-year-olds to come and buy my product. If you don't have 25-year-olds buying a product already, it's not a product for 25-year-olds, or you're not the person 25-year-olds want to buy from.
Ooh, that's an interesting one, because people buy from people they like, right? Yeah. People they connect with. And if I don't connect with you, my chances of buying from you kind of diminish.
Yeah.
I probably will, somebody who has the exact same product as you, I'll probably go buy from them because of my connections.
Yes, your connection, the way they treat you, the way you guys get on, all those different things.
So I wanted to ask you something around something you said just now, which triggered something in my head. So for example, you talk about the target audience. So you do the sales for Uncovering Greatness, you do Ignite Your Sales, you do your Sales Explosion.
Yeah.
You can clearly see. So for example, you do a sales explosion, you can see who's in the room, right? You know who the people are. Once they've attended sales explosion, you don't just, well, thank you for attending and that's done with.
Goodbye.
Yeah, we're not going to, thank you for coming and that's it. You stay connected to them, right?
Yeah, 100%. I invite them back into some of our events, back into our world, keep them updated. This is what's happening. Send them things like, you know, we made this video, you might find it interesting. Here's something that could benefit you. You know, we're still serving them. We're still giving them things after they came.
Yeah.
We want to keep them in our world. We want to help them grow as much as possible.
And it's not just, and it genuinely isn't just to make the sale. And I think that's also a place for me where small business owners get it wrong, or they get it a little bit twisted is they want to sell to the same person consistently, but it's more of a forced thing.
But if you're fishing from the same pond,
Yeah.
eventually you're going to run out of fish.
Mm.
You know, and that's a big thing. And I had to learn that. I kept going for a while. I kept going back to the same people that had attended our programs. Like, oh, do you want to come back? Or do you want to do sales explosion again? And I was like, I'm not getting results. Why? And Barry had to sit me down and say, like, you keep going to these people. Like, they're not going to keep buying from you. They've been to sales explosion twice, 3 times. So why would they come back? You know, like, especially if you're on their case. Whereas if you open up, you know, your space, you open up your pool, essentially you can fish for greater fish, more fish, different fish. If you're going to the same little murky pond, okay, from that's already been there, the fish are gone.
The fish are dead, you know.
And like for me, I think, like we said it yesterday, social media should be, especially for like small businesses, it should be used as a vehicle to like get leads, to meet more people, to grow your community. It is not a place for you to sell your stuff and expect your sales to like explode. Because I think for me, what that just shows is if you're going on social media to try and sell your product because you can't sell them outside, it's because you're lazy or you don't know how to sell it. And that's very important. Is if you can't sell to the average Joe in the real world, how can you expect it to just take off on social media?
Yeah, man. When you said that yesterday, I was like, damn, that's a bar right there, because people.
Essentially what happens is people suck selling in person. And then they're like, oh, this is not working. Let me go and do Facebook or Instagram.
And I think it's going to change their lives.
And they go and they do the exact same thing that they were doing in person on social media and get the same results. And then they're like, well, clearly, and then what they inevitably do is they blame the economy, they blame the market, instead of just going, wait, man, I've got to be doing something wrong. Like something is not right that people are, you know, and I've noticed with a lot of small business owners and entrepreneurs, they get very fixated on their products or their business, right? But it's a great product. I'm like, to you, it's a great product.
Yeah, to the rest of the people in my not be. Like, you know, no response is still a response. And that's something like in terms of real life, social media, however you want to look at it, no response is a response. If people are not liking your videos, if people are not watching your videos or not commenting and things like that, it's still a response. It's still something to take like, oh, people, you know, might not like what I'm putting out there. You have to internalize it and look. And sometimes you have to be dead honest with yourself. My product or my videos are crap. Or, you know, sometimes you just have to do that.
You just have to call it as it is, you know, and I think, so like an important piece also that we've discussed in terms of like, so people don't understand, or small business owners don't understand that social media is also a journey, right? These things take time. And I've spoken to so many people who are like, oh no, but I only got 30 views on my video.
So it's not like one day you have like 5 followers and the next day but 17,000.
No.
It's you've got to build it. It takes
Unless you buy it, yes. They will.
Well, yes.
Different ball game.
You know, like someone that was there yesterday said they've got like 20,000 followers, and after speaking to them, they've been working on Instagram for 8 years. They've been working on their profile, their influence around them, and so to build up to that, it takes a while.
Yeah. You know, it was actually something that I learned from Alex Hormozi, the author of $100 Million Leads. And he had basically said, so people complain that they only get 30 views on their videos. Take 30 people and put them in a room and see how that looks. Yeah. So if we look back at yesterday, we had 35 people in the room.
Yeah.
When I was looking at it, I was like, holy shit.
That's a lot of people. But if you look at it like, oh, I only got 35 likes. That sucks. But you're trying to compare it to Ricky down the road who gets like 300,000 likes. It's not the same thing.
You have zero context of what Ricky's actually doing, or how long Ricky's been doing this for, or
you know, and what he's selling, or how he's going around it, and what he's putting into it.
Yeah, and I think that's you know, sometimes I'm vulnerable to what happens with small business owners is that they believe that I've got to get. So we spoke about it yesterday about quality, and quality is imperative. But quality doesn't mean you need to go and hire a whole camera crew and do all of that. No.
Your cell phones, yeah.
Ooh, our phones nowadays are really tip top. Like they are high quality phones, and maybe what you don't know is the settings for the camera or what makes it look.
Or maybe it's just the lighting that you're standing in, or the angle that you're holding it in. I mean, we find a lot of some of our clients are trying to take videos from like this angle. I don't want to see your nostrils.
No.
You know?
No, back off.
It's like in a dimly lit room, and all I can see is your nostrils. It's not.
That's like a hostage video.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, lighting is so important. Lighting, positioning, and like I said yesterday, is a lot of people have somebody under the age of 25. Like I can even go as far as under the age of 30 in the space that can help them. You know, they may not be, and this is also important, is that I'm not saying that this person may know how to shoot videos and run your content on social media and create a strategy for you. No. What they know about it is from a personal perspective, right?
If we give you some tips on how to build the camera better, or how to, you know, look into it better, or, you know, something as simple as just change your hair slightly. Like,
And it's most of the time it's actually the slightest of improvements.
Yes.
Slow down when you're talking. Don't
keep a little bit shorter. And that was another point we found yesterday, is not everyone wants the stories you want to tell.
Yeah.
Not everyone needs to know your stories. You might want to tell them all these different things, but not everyone wants it. And that's something that's very important, is, are you putting stuff out there that people aren't actually interested in hearing or don't want to know? You know, but you can only figure that out if you're present with yourself and your surroundings, and then present with the people that are receiving what you're giving.
And it's just about being totally honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Right? To be like, okay, clearly people are not vibing with what I'm saying. Maybe the stories I'm telling are not, because I do feel from a social media perspective, right, that I don't know what you think about it, but stories are incredibly important, especially from a business perspective.
Yes.
Telling a story, but tying the story in a way that makes sense to your audience.
And where it relates specifically to that, you know, that topic, or that,
Yeah.
There's got to be like a premise and a conclusion, and something that, you know, this is why I'm telling you the story.
Yeah.
Here is the outcome. Here is, you know, the line, or whatever it is. It's got to give something back. Whereas if you're just telling a story for the sake of telling a story, like, it gets boring, it gets tedious, and no one actually wants to listen to that. It's shit.
And also don't tie it to your business.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to be a storyteller and make profiles where you just tell your war stories and your this stories and your that stories, I honestly, personally, I do encourage it.
Do it.
Because you can create your own diary, it's one of those, I can't remember where I heard this, where somebody said, social media is like letting other people you don't know look into your diary.
Yes, 100%. Like, it's like, that's what Instagram is. You know,
Yeah.
looking into videos and photos of other people's lives.
Yeah. And if you want to do that, then do it.
Nothing's stopping you from creating your own YouTube account. And it might not go viral, it might not get thousands of likes, but if that's what you want to do, if that's what makes you happy, put it out there.
You know what the crazy thing is? There may be 10 people who feel the exact same way as you. You know how big that tip? I don't even have 10 friends. You know how big 10 people is?
There's 7 billion people in this world. You will find people that like you, find people that are interested in what you have to say, and find people that are similar to you and have the same problems and issues as you. It'll go, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like, you know, everyone wants to go viral. Everyone wants to be the next influencer. And yes, it is possible, but it is also trying to go viral is not in your control. It's like trying to catch lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. Viral is what you're putting out there. Suddenly someone finds something like this. What's it? The Hak Tour girl.
Yeah.
That she didn't control that. The guys that were doing the video had no idea that was going to be now the most famous thing in the world currently.
Nope.
Like, just one.
I'm now seeing people selling t-shirts with that. With Hak Tour.
Every second video I see on Instagram, like, the sound was like, "Did you know Hak Tour?" Like, it's just.
And that's the, you know, for me, that's the beauty of it, right? Is that it's, and those guys who I mean, I don't even know if that girl has, I mean, she probably does have social media, right? So
She did it.
Oh.
Like I saw her, she deleted it like a couple of months before she went viral.
Oh, okay.
And I saw her on, I think it was like the Call Her Danny podcast or something the other day. And she was saying she had to recreate her social media profiles or like reactivate them. Because people were like, who is this chick? Like, but she's amazing. So she had to like because people were also creating fake profiles as her. She didn't have her own.
Which happens.
So she now is like, the problem she's faced with that is that she's now got lawyers and they're trying to like sue people that are like pretending to be her or, you know, selling stuff that's not actually her.
And that is also the other side of going viral. There is so much that comes with going viral.
It's not all pretty and sunshine.
It's not fun and games. It's, yeah, probably for the first 2 days, it's like, whoa, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just starts to dip. And maybe it's because I feel like it's one, people's attention spans. Eventually I get over these things.
Yeah, it gets boring. People get bored.
And then what happens is then you have other creators who are like, cool, how did we capitalize on that, right? I mean, we were speaking about it. I mean, she ended up on how many podcasts after that?
So, I mean, even Shaq was like, she was with, what's his name? She's singing. Zach Bryan, she did a concert with him. She's not even a singer, but she got up on stage and was singing with him. And then, like, I saw in this one podcast, she was saying that, you know, like 2 or 3 days after people find out who she was, because obviously they posted the video and something went viral, but they didn't know who this chick was. They didn't know, and they found out who she was. She was living with her grandparents. They had to, like, shoo people, like reporters were camping outside of her house trying to, like, get interviews with her, meet her, like, find out more about her. People want to go viral and then they get upset when something like that happens. Like, it is part of it. Like, you know.
You can't do something that incredibly public and then want to be private.
But then we take it into business. And now usually you're like, oh, I'm going to make this video and it's going to go viral. I'm going to be the next influencer. But then what? How are you going to handle that? How are you going to deal with it? What are your next steps? You know, because most people, it will be so overwhelming that they won't know how to capitalize on it. They won't know how to take the next step or, you know, move forward and actually grow their business. They'll probably end up shutting down.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at it, if we were to do a video with Barry or even Nicole and they go viral, and now we're getting bookings and come talk here, come talk there, at a certain point in time, it's just not going to be feasible.
Yeah.
Why? Because they are only one person.
And there's only so much time in a day.
Only so much time in a
There's
day.
only so many places they can talk, so many people they can talk to, so many things that they can do. And it's like, they got cuts it off.
And I mean, at the same time, there's still the other commitments that they have.
Exactly.
Right? Nicole has clients, Barry has clients, like in similar.
Barry's calendar is pretty much booked until the end of September now. Like, we look from now in July.
Yeah.
People are coming to me like, can we do a corporate training? And I'm like, yes, in October. Like, you know, but we can't do anything until then because it's already the time frame.
And that's the thing, was like what most business owners and entrepreneurs will do is they'll cancel their commitments to go for the
big fish.
The bigger fish, forgetting that all these small fish is essentially what sustains your business and keeps your business running. And that's sort of the issue. And it's so fascinating to me because I'm just like, I actually don't even think I want us to go viral. Like, I think about, and I mean, it wasn't even viral in the viral sense, but I mean, a while back when we did a video where we were talking about our cup is breaking, we were talking about South Africa and
the content,
corruption and all of that. I mean, that thing went nuts. That video was crazy. Just the comments.
In terms of like nuts, like not necessarily like millions of views, but compared to the hundreds of views that we normally get, it went to now thousands.
Yeah.
And it was like, how do we deal with this? Like, we've got to respond to all these comments, we've got to respond to all these people. We have people reaching out to us.
Yep.
And that's where it's like, you know, you've got to know what's coming if you reach that point.
Yeah, I mean, Barry and I had a convo about it, you know, when you're having people coming in and saying, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, you know, just basically fighting what he's saying. And we could have went the other way with it, which I feel what most people do. They try to fight those people.
Conflict of conflict.
Yeah. And we were just like, thank you for your comment, you know, we really appreciate it. And that was it.
Most like trolls like that are looking for the reaction. They're commenting so you'll comment back.
Yep.
And it like so that you fight with them. They're looking for a fight. And if you just shut them down with thank you so much for your response, have a great day or whatever, they're done. There's nothing else they can do.
None of those people that I said thank you for your comments came back and said anything.
Of course they did.
Because now, how are you going to fight with me? I said, thank you for your comments. Game over. It lost. And that's the you know, the other side of it is I always teach and tell people, don't get lost in people's feedback when it's negative. I would rather focus on the positive stuff. The world is full of so much negativity. I mean, you can literally go online now, right? And somebody can post a picture of this wall and say that this wall is cream. People will turn around and be like, no, it's not. You don't love it. Let's hear it.
It was like the dress. Remember the
100%
black dress with the white and gold? It was like suddenly like people hated each other because of what they still want a photo. And it's just like, you know, why would you want to divide? And I think that's like such an important point is you want to bring people together, but also realize not everyone is going to like you. People aren't. That you cannot have everyone like you. It's physically impossible. You're going to have people that don't like you for just seemingly the sole reason of they just don't like you, or they don't like who you are, or how you dress. It's nothing
Like your voice.
control.
And I mean, it's such a, like, that is also, it's so important to understand that because you're looking for people who will like you, right? Instead of going, well, I'm going to try and convince it. It's, imagine if, the way I look at it, right? It's like in a relationship sense.
Yeah.
You know, you don't like Chris. You don't like him at all. You don't want to like him. Nothing was going to change.
I hated Chris.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. For those of you who don't know, Chris is my current boyfriend, but I really didn't like him before we started dating. Like, not at all.
But over time, you got over that.
Yes,
And you were then open to actually seeing what was what.
yes. You know,
It
like
wasn't-
his side of the story, finding out like
Yeah.
where, like, you know, where we sit, why do we feel this way, what's happening.
But you weren't stuck in the I don't like you. Therefore,
No.
There was no way that he could have sold you on why you should like it. If it was, let's just say, 6 months to a year before that.
Yeah.
It was done.
No, there was no chance. People were like, if he ever came to you and said like this, and I was like, never ever, no, we're done. And then, you know, I realized that I can't keep holding on to things, you know, and it's not everything that I can control it. And people make mistakes. I'm not perfect as well. I've also made mistakes. And we were then able to sit down and say like, this is what happened. This is where we sit. This is how we feel. 4 years later, this is what's going on. And look at us today.
And unfortunately, in business and social media, you will not be that fortunate.
No.
And also, I feel your business does not have time for you to try and convince people who genuinely don't like you, who genuinely don't want to buy from you.
What are you going to say, though?
There's nothing you can say.
Oh, no, the reason you should like me is because... And then what? Yeah, they're trying to run after muddy fish.
And that's that's what people try to do, right? I'm going to give you a discount. And you know what? More than likely, the person will take the discount just because it's a discount, and they won't buy from you again.
No, then they won't come back.
I say, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think to close it out, that's the important piece, especially around target markets and what you're putting out and what you're communicating on social media, is if you put out a piece of content and somebody turns around and says what you just said is nonsense, or you don't know what you're talking about, don't dive into that. Rather focus on the people who are like, oh, this is so awesome, thank you, I really appreciate it. Focus on those people.
Yeah.
Because what you end up doing is you end up isolating the people who actually enjoy what you do, who actually will buy from you, who support you. Just so you can try and convince somebody who does not want to be convinced. They don't like you, they're not going to like you. And that's cool. Because in all honesty, in real life, you have people you don't like.
Yeah, and I think it's find out who the people are that do like you and find more of those people. You know, there's lots of people in the world. There's many fish in the sea.
Many fish,
You know,
clear water.
Yeah, and I think that's where you've got to be. It's not everyone's going to like you. And I think the other thing is, when you are posting stuff, be yourself, be 100% authentic, because people can smell fake, they can smell bullshit. And I think it's be you, be who you truly are, and the people that like you for you will come and find you. And keep it short, simple, and sweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, this has been another episode of the Upcoming Vegas podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have feedback, please let us know. Even if you don't like us, we're okay with that. We don't mind.
Let us know why you don't like it.
Yeah, and we will say thank you for your comment and move on. That's what you will do. So yeah, tune in next week for a brand new episode of the Uncovering Greatness podcast. More than likely, it's going to be the two of us again. So that should be super cool. Hopefully we'll chat to you guys about our weekend. Maybe we'll talk more nonsense. Who knows what we
Talking about sales, business, upcoming Olympics.
Mindset. Oh, that would be a great one, man. Because that mindset you need to be an Olympian is stupid. Honestly, I think that's just stupid.
Chris is here next Tuesday.
Oh, maybe Chris can jump in with us and we could talk to him about what's going on with him. And that could be a really, hey, we're not saying it's going to happen, but we might have an Olympian on the Upcoming Greatness podcast.
Possibly. If not, we'll have him in August, September.
August, when they come back. Yes, that we got that booked. That's the joys of having somebody dating an Olympian is you get first access to them. So we appreciate that. Thanks again.
Well, thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week.